Hi everyone, welcome back. Today is Tuesday and we have the video topic. I wanted to say happy December, and because it's December, that means we have a new theme. And with this theme, we are going to be talking about advice / knowledge / wisdom. And starting off this week, I wanted to talk about people first language. But before we get started, I wanted to go through the proverb of the week and then we'll go from there. So this week's proverb comes from chapter 3, verses 21 and 22. It says, "My child, don't lose sight of common sense and discernment. Hang on to them, for they will refresh your soul. They are like jewels on a necklace." And that basically is just talking about the importance of having discernment and common sense, and I think it goes hand in hand with what we're going to talk about today. And like I mentioned to you, we're going to be talking about people first language, and that basically means just identifying the person first and then their disability, or if they have a sickness, identifying that later. And I want to give you some examples of that. So for instance, I know that we sometimes in passing or just in conversing with others, we can say somebody is acting crazy, or somebody is mentally retarded, or this, or somebody is this, somebody is that. But those things can be, even though they may seem funny in your group or in your discussion, they can be extremely hurtful in the way that we speak about others. And then sometimes we have a hard time with saying, okay, now we're talking to friends and now we're talking to people that are not our friends. And so I think it's always important to just almost in a sense practice how you play. And that means that when you see someone, if they have a physical disability or they have a physical ailment, instead of saying that person is crippled, you can say he or she has a physical disability. I know personally, I hate the word crippled. I don't like when people tell me that I'm crippled or disabled, because I'm not. I have a physical disability. Yes, that is a part of who I am. That's not all of who I am, and that's not all of who someone else is or who you are. If you may have a sickness, so if you had, say for instance, lupus, you don't want someone to say, oh, that girl is lupus. That just sounds, first of all, it sounds silly and it's incorrect, and it doesn't show that you respect a person enough to identify who they are first. You can say this girl or this boy has autoimmune disease that affects them, and it's called lupus. So it's just about how you speak and the words that you use. You can either encourage someone, or you can just be a discourage. And I think that sometimes we're so used to not being around or not being aware of the ways that we speak that we oftentimes are not held accountable. And I just want to encourage you all to think about the words that you use, and always think about the person before a disorder, the person before a disease, the person before a physical ailment, because it can be hurtful. And I know personally it has been hurtful to me, and I know that, like I said, a lot of times people don't mean that, but just because you didn't mean it, it doesn't mean that that still doesn't hurt. And so I just wanted to share that with you and just help you to be aware. And I would like for us to talk about that more. If you have questions, or if you've heard certain terms used, or you've used certain things that maybe you wish you didn't use, or things that you've learned from, or say for instance if you use something and then you have a family member that currently lives with a disorder or a disease, and you've realized how that has impacted them, I think if you have an opportunity to share it, that'll be great. I think all of us can learn. And like I said, we've all done and said things that that we may not be proud of, but I think it's all about learning. And I feel like the more you know, it's just the more well-rounded you are, and the more likely you are to share that with other people. And so feel free to comment on the video. You can ask me any questions that you have. If you want me to talk about something else in specifics, I would love to do that. But until then, I would encourage you to follow the blog. It's www displaybym.wordpress.com, and you can register and you can follow the blog to receive updates every time I post something differently. Or you can follow the blog, you can follow Display BYM on Instagram and Twitter for more updates. I hope you have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you next week.